Hey guys, let's talk about books. I've tried 3 times to record this video and it never works. It has never worked. So I thought this time I'd just try and do it really informally because that pile, that needs to go into the database and I've been putting it off so I could record this video, but the books just, they pile up somehow. So that's what I've got to get done today, and I'm actually really excited about it because you may have gathered that I am a nerd and this is my favorite thing to do, is organize my data. So let's organize my data, which is books today. Also, a kitten moved in with us, so if you can hear kitten noises, that's because she's jumping on the beanbag over there in the corner rather than climbing these shelves. Also, my computer's on, which has a fan noise. The dehumidifier in the bathroom is on, which makes a fan noise. That computer is ashes and it's dying, so we can't turn it off. So it's always on and it's making a really loud fan noise. And I don't know what this microphone's picking up, so if the sound quality is sketchy, it is what it is. We just roll with it here on this channel. Of course I've got my coffee too. It's necessary for every aspect of my life. Let me show you the first thing that I use to organize my books. It is a website / database / social media called Librarything. I don't use any of the powerful features in here except to record my books, and the reason I use Librarything is because the app has a barcode scanner and I can just go beep 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 and it just puts it all in there, gives it a cover, gives it the metadata. I'm cool. And the reason that I record my books is so that when I'm standing in a bookstore, I don't buy a book that I already own. In theory, more than once I've walked out of a bookstore and gone, oh, I should have checked if I own that book. And yes, I did already own that book. So the system is not perfect and that's on me, not on the system. So this is where I record my books. And another reason that I like Librarything in particular is because the metadata does things for my non-fiction collection, like give me the Dewey Decimal classification number and the Library of Congress classification number, which are the numbers you get on library books, in the library in the non-fiction section. They're organized by category, and I like to organize my non-fiction books in category and put labels on them. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that. The label is the fun part. This pile I will grab and then I will show you just briefly how this works. So like I said, there is a barcode scanner on my phone, and that was great when I was switching my collection from the website I was previously using. I can't even remember what it was called, and then over to Librarything. But honestly, I just like to sit here and type the numbers and pretend I'm a real librarian again. So although like a real librarian probably would have a barcode scanner, but when I worked in a library, it was a private library and I didn't have one. I just had my fingers and the number pad. And that's what I like to do. So the first one on this pile, you have seen before if you watch this channel. It's a Christmas present from my family to me, going to church in medieval England. Nicholas Orme, one of those, non-fiction. So I'll show you how to do the non-fiction. So add books to library. And then I punch in the number, which is the barcode and the ISBN. Missed the number. And there it is. Nice and easy. You click it, it's added. I didn't check which tags are on. It's on the fiction tag, so I'm going to have to edit that. Go into edit. I go in here anyway because I want to make sure that this is all right. I'm going to add it to my non-fiction collection. Not that I use this at all. I just sort them by fiction and non-fiction so that later when I'm looking for, say, a book in a particular Dewey Decimal classification number category, I just sort on the non-fictions. Blah, blah, blah. Maybe we should go through it slowly. So I've got my tags, the title, the author, which sometimes I change the metadata because it's not changing the whole book's metadata, just my my database entry. We've got a review. I can share the review, additional authors, the media, the publication date. This is all like the library metadata stuff. Dates, classifications. You don't have to accept their classification if you don't want to. barcode, etc. Barcode is usually the ISBN these days, but not always. Older books don't always have that. And books that use ISBN 10 instead of 13 will maybe have a separate barcode. So library thing gives me a GDC number of 254.5 under religion, Christian pastoral theology, homiletics and religious orders, church management, church growth and development. That sounds right to me. So get my pencil, that's a pen, get my pencil. I like these pencils. They are Mitsubishi Uni Kuru Toyo's is that gonna focus? Makeup vlogger. No, it's not. In 0.07, no, 0.7. And I like these ones because you click it, and when you click it down, it spins the lead, and so you get a sharp point. That's nerdy. Alright, so just inside the cover, I'm going to write 254.509. I don't go nuts with the numbering. And then ORM, the first 3 letters of the author's name. Then get out my label maker. This is a Dymo Electra tag that I got on sale at Woolies, which is why I have this one. And I've got it set up. This is the only thing I use it for, so I've got it set up with, can you see that, like a template where it's got the numbers, and then if I go across, is it going across? Slowly. No. Oh, I'm at the end. And if I go across, it's like a gap for a second line and then the letters. So I just delete what was there, replace it with the new info and press print. Usually when I'm sitting here at my computer, I wear blue light glasses, which I know some people think is a scam, but it really helps me with this monitor. It's so bright. I wear blue light glasses at work as well because of the fluoro overhead lighting on the monitors, and it works a treat. So if anyone tells you blue light glasses are a scam, I would say try it for yourself. These are mine, but you're just going to bounce the light, so I don't have them on. Alright, so I've put in my new numbers. I hit print. Here it comes. It's so nerdy to be excited about a label maker, and I think so middle-aged white woman, but satisfying. And then I just, so that's the sticker. That ain't gonna focus. And I just stick it on my book, and I have no shame and no compunctions about putting things on the books that are in my collection, because they're going to stay in my collection until I die and my family put them in the recycling. There you go. Catalogued, labelled. It's in the front there too. And then I'm going to put it in the 200s section on my shelf. And then I'm going to film all of my non-fiction shelf, go through a whole walkthrough inspired by Kelly at Curatorially Yours, which I'll link below. So now I'm going to do the rest of that pile. Doing fiction is pretty much the same. So the next one is happens to be fiction. Go back to add books. Punch in this barcode. Now I've got this screen set to Amazon.com books, but sometimes I just put it on Overcat, which picks up pretty much everything. Some books it doesn't pick up the data, so I have to like specify British if it's a British publication, or I specify the NLA if it's an Australian publication, and then it doesn't always come up. So sometimes Amazon is your best bet. Let's try it with Overcat. I'm on fiction. This is a fiction book, no source. So I will try it on. This was obviously published in the UK because it's Midsummer Murders. So let's try Amazon UK. Yes, and that's the right cover. So pop that in there. Bam, add it. I'll show you the app. I'm not going to screen record my phone But so that's the app. It's really basic. It's actually frustratingly basic, so I only use it to search my database and add to my database. Like you add to catalog, there's a barcode scanner, which is actually really sensitive, which is, it can be annoying, but anyway. Search, and then satisfying beep, there we go. And it found that book, which was, can you see that? To Kill a Mockingbird. Different cover, but it's the same like vintage classics publication. And then if I go over here, your books, it should be there. What if I sort by date? Yeah, To Kill a Mockingbird. So it's really fast, and that's how I organize the books. Now, I want to migrate this or duplicate this in Notion, because I finally got a system to make Notion work for me. I use a program called Readwise, which is something I pay for, but I will put a link below, because if you click the link you get a 30-day free trial and I get 30 days free. So I would appreciate that if you want to check it out. What it does is it let's click it. So if I go into the dashboard, what it does is it collates your highlights. So what it is great for is if you highlight something on your Kindle, or you can take a photo of a physical book, select the highlighted part that you want, it will pop it in here, so you can see what I've been reading recently, Femina by Janita Ramirez, and all the highlights that I took photos of from the book and then manually added them to here. They're all collated here. But I don't know if in the free version, but definitely in the paid version of Readwise, you can sync those to Notion. And so when I go to Notion, so this is my Notion books database. This is the view of what I have been reading this year. And I've got title, author, blah, blah, blah. But if you go down to Femina, which I just showed you in Readwise, if I click through on that one, that's my thoughts. But I've also got it linked to the captures of the highlights. And so when I'm thinking about books, when I'm thinking about recording my reviews of books, it's all collated there. And then if you're not familiar with Notion, Notion's basically just a database with a pretty interface. I think of it maybe like a bullet journal where you can just click links between collections rather than different pages for collections. And if you don't need it, then you don't need it. It's taken me a week to set this up, which has been fun. It's just needed some time to think about how I want it structured. That's what I'm using that for. So Readwise through to Notion, and then Notion through to filming. And I can link these pages for the books with all my thoughts and whatever to the page that I put together for filming. That was a tangent. How did I get onto this topic? So, so what I want to do is duplicate, when I put in this pile of books, I want to duplicate them into Notion so that when I read them, so they're in a TBR list for one, so I know exactly what's on the TBR. Not to strike fear in my heart, but just to be aware of what is happening there. I can feel a cat hair on my face. Oh, it's itchy. So that's what I want to do, is duplicate over here. So I've got title, author, maybe not categories, but definitely year of publication, and the DDC number if it needs one, if it's non-fiction. And then it's just here already. And if I put things into library thing, it will grab me that metadata that I can just copy over here. And it is duplicating the work. It is double handling the data, but at the same time it's putting it in the places where I want it to be usable for me right now. That is a quick look at how I organize my books in general and for filming. So these books, once I get them in here, they're going to be in my TBR tab, which this is all the same database, it's just filtered on different views. And so my TBR and pre-orders just has my pre-orders. This is what my mum bought me for my birthday. Thanks Mum, you're the best. By which I mean she gave me a gift voucher and I spent the money. So this is what it's going to look like on my TBR, is title, author, the DDC if it needs it. The date refers to the date that I read it, which I haven't done yet, so I can probably remove that. Obviously, because I make content, I'm flagging if it's filmed or not. These are when I'm expecting those books to be released. This is the number in which I read it this year, so I'm actually going to take that out, don't need it. And then, is it pre-ordered? Do I already own it? It's in my TBR. This view is filtered on this TBR tag. And then the year of publication. So I'm going to fill that out with these books, which have been piling up since Christmas. And then I can start reading them, or more likely just accumulate more books. Right? If you have any questions, because I feel like I just rushed through this, I didn't think about it at all. Oh, hang on, there's a phone call. Yes. Alright, that was work. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you want to see something more in depth. I'm happy to share the behind the scenes content creating process, but using Notion in this way is new to me as well. And stay tuned for more book reviews, of course, and a look at my non-fiction shelves, which I'm going to start recording right now. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.